Hello and welcome to Race 1 Live. Today is the third race of the R3 Championship. My name is Jose and with me it's Dan. How are you, Dan?
I'm very good, Jose. Good to be back after the 2-week break since Interlagos. Looking forward to our race around Catalunha today.
Any thoughts as a preview of the race?
Well, we saw last time there was quite a weird strategy in Gilles. I'm going to pronounce that correctly.
Yeah.
From now on. Gilles using different compound tyres on his fronts and his rears. Could we see something like that happening again? But overall, we sort of calculated that strategy will be a little bit different around here. The mediums seem to be a little bit more competitive. That could allow a bit of a different strategy to come into the race. But we'll have to see what the drivers come up with and what they think is the fastest strategy around the race.
I heard the guys saying that the race, the tactical side in this race was going to be very important. So yeah, I do anticipate that to once again be, a very interesting race with, they were going to come up with their own little, shall I say, tricks or tactical decisions that will try to get some advantage. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to the race. Let's see what they will provide us. But I'm sure it's going to be a nice race again.
Yeah, of course. And with different strategies, quite often you can get some brilliant battles towards the end of the race, which is good, because generally when you're coming towards the end of a race and everyone's on the same strategy, everyone's a little bit spread out, you don't quite get that action at the end of the race. But with people on different strategies, you'll have people closing in to others on older tyres, and it just makes it a little bit more interesting, because you're not 100% sure what's going to happen when you're witnessing different strategies going on at the exact same time. So, very much looking forward to it. It seems the race start is always an exciting moment, but maybe this time we'll have a race end, which is a bit of a thriller.
Let's hope so. But yeah, you're right. A couple of weeks ago, last race, we saw a big group, like 5 or 6 guys that came very together in the front with different strategies. And that made it even more, interesting. But I'm pretty sure the guys, once again, will provide us with a very interesting race with loads of fights. So yeah, let's see what they're going to do today.
I'm most looking forward to seeing how CRX and Mian Kamasa give each other respect again, because last time, obviously, CRX losing a podium, or losing second place, to me and Kamasa after a bit of an unfortunate incident with a back marker. And I know they're teammates and all, but obviously CRX will be wanting to get a bit of payback on me and Kamasa, want to get ahead of him, because, well, last time around in Interlagos would have been a bit crushing for him. And he'll want to build up his confidence again coming around here.
You said Mian Kamasa and CRX teammates. And
are they not teammates? Have I got that mucked up? I've got that muddled up.
A tiny bit, yeah. No, CRX is teammates with João Paulo Souza. It's 911s, M6, X6. But don't worry, it's fine. It was 2 weeks ago.
So close. I thought I'd memorised it all, but clearly not.
Don't worry, it's so good.
I've been reading it on the train back from work and just thinking, right, I'm going to memorise this. I'm going to know who's in every team. I'm going to look really cool in front of the spectators. But no, I've mucked it up before the race has even started. So this is going so well.
That's the perfect time to do it. No worries. I wasn't going to say anything and then say I might as well say it.
If you hadn't have, I would have said it again in the race, and it would have just been really awkward.
Don't worry, every race I say something that it's not correct. So what can I do? And I don't even drink before I start, if you know what I mean. So I don't have an excuse or anything.
You're not drunk while commentating, obviously.
No, I don't think would go well.
You say that. I have a friend, Legner. He's a very good driver, but we say that he's a much better driver when he is drinking. He seems to be so much calmer and so much happier that somehow it makes him faster. But I'm not sure that's something to go off in the real world. I think if you're going to drink and drive, stick to gaming.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
The walls don't make so much damage, I would say.
Not in a game, that's for sure.
Exactly.
But back to the race, I guess. Do you have any predictions for this race? Do you have any sort of podium anticipations?
Looking at the times now, I see that Castellinius is probably going to be the surprise man. But I anticipate the fight to be again between Gile, Miako Mas and CRX, and maybe Castellinius will be in there also. Let's see. But yeah, the three normal suspects plus Castellinius, but you never know. I always say that.
Castellinius has set a very respectable time so far, so we'll have to see what he can do. Not sure about his consistency just yet, but Catalunha can be quite an easy track to get a penalty on. Obviously at turn 3, the long sweeping right-hander, if you just edge out a little bit too wide, you're going to pick up a penalty and you're going to lose quite a bit of time because of how wide you go.
I see Castellinius on the side. It needs to be... I don't think it needs to be in the track, but yeah, okay. We have a race start here.
Perfect. Well, looking at the grid, obviously Gile on pole. I'm pronouncing that correctly this time.
That was
Castellinius in second, the surprise package for the day, and Miako Mas in third position. Looking forward to the race ahead.
The
cars start rolling underway. We wait for the countdown to get started. We've got 3, we've got 2, and we've got 1, and we're underway. Gile leads the way towards the first corner. Will Castellinius be in any sort of position to go for a move? The Corvette generally considered to be quite a fast car in a straight line. Possibly looking for a move down the inside, but not able to go for anything just yet. Gile braking a little bit deep. They're just holding first position right now. No one able to go for any sort of move. Obviously with a rolling start, everyone's just in their own little pocket of air as they start the race off.
Miako Mas having a look also on Castellinius.
It's right on the rear. Forced Castellinius to go a little bit wide around turn 4, but coming into turn 5, he's got a good gap, a little bit on the grass going around the corner, but not losing the car. Miako Mas obviously proven himself to be very fast around quite a lot of tracks. Castellinius has been a bit of a surprise now, getting a bad run through the chicane there. Will Miako Mas look down the inside? Not quite going for anything just yet. Not typically a place to go for an overtaking move. Castellinius running a little bit wide, but Miako Mas not able to get a good exit. Meaning Castellinius currently holding on to second place. It seems everyone just following each other through this final section. But Hegos and Danny near the back have swapped positions, in fact. Tegos running a little bit wide going into that final corner. Or not the final corner, the hairpin. And currently
passing to 8.
Oh yeah, straight back past.
Yeah.
That is quite spectacular, actually. I've not seen an overtake be made there before. That is a brilliant little pass from Tegos.
I think
Nicely done.
Danny had a little of, you know, disintention. Oh, well, sorry for the word. You know, lack of attention, and yeah. Tegos went for it.
Well, Danny was looking for a move going into the first corner, but not quite able to go for anything just yet. Looked down the inside, decided better of it. Decided to tuck back in behind Tegos, but still right on the rear of him. Catalunha generally considered to be quite a difficult track to actually overtake it on, unless you're doing it into the first corner.
Danny a bit sideways?
A little bit sideways through that corner, yes. Difficult to keep the Viper under control. Is very looking up ahead, Jace, Paulo Sousa and Myanson. And Myanson off into the gravel, a little bit of contact between the two of them. And Myanson, very difficult to recover from that position. Oh, very unfortunate for him. J. Paulo Sousa just trying to get on the brakes a little bit later to make the move past. And with the contact, pushed Myanson out into the gravel. Very difficult to recover from there. He's out of there now, but 13 seconds off the back of 8th place. It's going to be a difficult recovery job if Myanson wants to make up any more positions.
Yeah, he was on the outside
earlier, so he's got the pace.
He was on the outside, and there was no space for both of them.
It was quite unfortunate there. Generally, you consider in GT3 races that you've just got to keep a car's width to the guy that you're side by side with, but very unfortunate there. J. Paulo Sousa trying to get the car turned in, but underestimating his brakes a little bit, going a bit deep. And Myanson unfortunately coming out the worst for it. But looking back at Tegos, now right on the back of J. Paulo Sousa, could he be looking for a move going into turn 4? He's looking up the inside.
He will.
Little bit early on the brakes. J. Paulo Sousa might be able to hold it around the outside here. And it looks like J. Paulo Sousa on the outside has actually held it, because now he's got the inside line for the next corner, unless Tegos looking for a switchback. Not quite. He got a decent run, but J. Paulo Sousa blocking him off a little bit. And now Tegos going to have to wait a little bit longer if he wants to pull a move and gain that 6th position.
We can see there's some more fighting in the back than actually in the front.
Yep, right now. And Tegos running into the rear of J. Paulo Sousa a little bit. As J. Paulo Sousa just a little bit wide going into turn 9. Tegos going to have to wait a little bit longer yet again to make that move up to 6th position. He's clearly got the pace. He's being very consistent right now. Both on equal tyres, but looking at J. Paulo Sousa, he's actually got different tyres on the fronts to the tyres on the rear. Similar thing to what Gilles did at Interlagos. Let's see if it pays off for J. Paulo Sousa.
Let's see on the straight now.
Tegos right behind him, right in that slipstream, pulling to the inside. The Merc with slightly superior straight line speed is pulling ahead of him now, braking just a little bit earlier than J. Paulo Sousa, but getting the move done as he's down the inside and up in 6th position. Very nice there from Tegos.
I'm back on Costolinis and Miyako Massa. I think they are the closest at the moment.
Yeah, they are very close right now, about 6 tenths between the two of them, fighting for 2nd and 3rd position. Taking very different approaches to that chicane. Costolinis running a little bit deep. Miyako Massa riding the curbs, trying to get a better exit.
Tires look very seamless, but yes, it's still the 4th lap. So I don't think anyone has an advantage there.
Well, we're reaching the stage where people are going to start considering pitting. I'm guessing next lap we could see the first of the pit stoppers. That would make this race a free stop, unless they want to try to stretch it out to 2. And maybe the guys on the mediums could try and pull off a 1, but we'll have to see. Mikamasa getting a good run out of that final corner, right in the slipstream of Catalunha. Will he be able to look for a move going into the first corner? The gap's sort of stabilising at around 4 tenths, but now it's coming down as he's in the slipstream. Edging closer, but it looks like Catalunha is going to be able to hold on to second position right now. As he goes through first corner.
That Corvette is fast, that's for sure.
Yes, the Corvette very good in the straight line, to be fair. One of the cars that Polyphony Digital yet to nerf, to be fair. Most of the other cars have received some sort of power decrease or weight increase. The Corvette actually been left untouched for quite a while. But Mikamasa still right on the rear of it.
And Alan, very close also for the 5th.
Yep, just as close as Mikamasa and Catalunha. We can watch either of them right now.
Yeah.
Neither of them really able to go for a move yet, but very close to one another. Oh, in fact, looking at Mikamasa, he might be a little bit closer. It's about 5 tenths now. Not quite getting a good run out of turn 9. Not able to go for anything just yet. False alarm, I guess.
Castellanos,
but actually,
he's looking good.
Yeah, he's definitely doing a good job. His Corvette, a little bit worse on tyre wear than Miakamasa's BMW. But currently, doing a good job and holding second. Mikamasa, in fact, running a little bit wide through those corners. And not getting a good run. He's actually pulling off into the pits now, the first of the pit stoppers. As he thinks his soft tyres have just had enough now. As it doesn't seem like anyone's actually following him in. Mikamasa, the only person to come into the pits right now.
Probably just got fed up of, following Castellanos around the track.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what sort of tyres he goes onto. Could he be pulling on the mediums now and trying to stretch it out to a 2-stop? Or will he, in fact, go softs again? As he has, in fact, gone onto the medium tyres, meaning he will most likely be trying a 2-stopper. We'll have to see how his tyre wear looks later on in the race. Obviously, the medium's able to go quite a bit longer, generally around 7 laps. We'll have to see what Miakamasa's able to do.
Sorry for overlap what you say. Edutegos is getting slightly closer to the to CRX and Alan, so they may join in the next laps and make it a bit more interesting for the fight for the 3rd place.
What's also interesting is that CRX is in fact on medium tyres and is holding off Alan behind him. So that could play a factor later on. CRX should be able to go on to softer compounded tyres later on in the race. So our favourite Dane is going to need to get past CRX as quickly as possible here if he wants to have any chance at claiming that 4th position.
Yeah, you're correct.
Especially with Tegos closing.
CRX looks like he's doing a Gil option, if we can call it, with medium the front, soft in the back. And you're right, it's holding off Alan. Let's see if Tegos is getting closer. More or less the same, I would say, than the previous lap.
Yeah, pretty much. It does seem they were within a few tenths of one another in that lap. CRX running a little bit deep into turn 1, not getting a good run through it. And Alan closing up a little bit to around half a second. Both of them on pretty similar tyre wear. Alan's front tyre's looking a little bit worse for weather, but his rear's looking much better. Obviously the Porsche does wear its front tyres quite a bit quicker, which does make sense as to why CRX deciding to put the mediums on the fronts. as in fact, lap 7, and the only one still to pit is Mick Massa. Could this mean Mick Massa is on a completely different strategy to everyone else?
It may be the case. Although he did change to medium. So yeah, I'm not sure if we plan to go the fourth 3 laps, the four first laps fast and then just speed. But I don't think it did work that well for him. Although he's in the back of Jean-Paul Sousa now.
As well as that, we've got the leaders coming in for their pit stops. Their tyres absolutely shredded at that point. And I'm pretty sure the only man continuing on is CRX, obviously with those medium tyres on the front. But now Mick Massa lining up J. Paulo Sousa for a move. J. Paulo Sousa actually staying out as well, so Mick Massa's going to have a bit of slipstream down the main straight. It'll be interesting to see where Mick Massa emerges in relation to Gilles, who was on much more worn tyres, as in fact, Mick Massa is ahead of Gilles. Mick Massa's undercut seems to have worked a bit of a treat for him here. And if he can hold off Gilles, he could be on for a race win.
So maybe I was wrong, and he really thought what in what he was doing. Yeah, looks like good for him.
Well, he was behind Costalinius earlier. But
and
Costalinius quite a bit down on him now. Oh, 3 wide, going through turn 4, a little bit of contact.
I was going to say
Massa gets through. Oh, that was tight. J. Paulo Sousa on much more worn tyres. It's just getting swamped by the cars on fresh tyres right now. And Gilles also making his way past, going into the chicane, and is now able to hunt down Mick Massa and try to reclaim his first position from earlier. God, that got a little bit interesting all of a sudden.
That's a good way to describe it. Interesting, yeah. I would say that my art probably skipped a couple of pits.
It definitely isn't a place you normally see cars going 3 wide. I've seen a car go 2 wide round there before, but never 3 wide. That was quite special. Obviously, J. Paulo Sousa on completely dead tyres at this point. It was easy for Mick Massa to just go all the way around the outside. Then Gilles getting involved there, trying to go up the inside, but J. Paulo Sousa closing the door. But now Gilles right on the rear of Mick Massa, closing up to him through the final corner. It's only 2 tenths between the two. Mick Massa covering that inside line. Will he be trying to defend this move? The AMG a little bit down on straight line speed normally, but with that slipstream prowess, he's able to pull ahead. Mick Massa not quite able to defend what is currently second position is the net lead, and Gilles got it this time. Moves up into second and a net first. I'm getting there slowly. I'm so sorry, Gilles.
You can call him the guy in the Mercedes in the front.
Yeah, let's do that.
Not in the front, in second place, but yeah.
Oh, sorry, the guy in the Mercedes. We'll just go with that. But looking back, actually, J. Paulo Sousa now getting closed right up by Costalinius. Costalinius, looking at his fuel, in fact, has got a hell of a lot more than everyone else around him. So during his pit stop, clearly he's filled up a hell of a lot more, as he's right on the rear of J. Paulo Sousa right now. Should be able to pull a move going into the next corner. Gets a good exit out of there. Costalinius looking down that inside. J. Paulo Sousa having to go around the outside. It should be an easy move for Costalinius down the inside there. And back up into 4th position. Now he can hunt back Mick Massa, the man who he was ahead of earlier, but obviously as he refueled a hell of a lot more than him, is currently behind him. Could play an interesting factor later on in the race, as they'll have to refuel different amounts in the next pit stop, most likely.
Well, Costalinius did lost quite a bit of time, so the play, the Mick Massa and go early did pay off. Let's see if he is going to be able to make it work until the end of the race. But at least he gained a position, that's for sure, and he was even in front. But Gilles just went for the front now. We can see the Porsches are in a very different tactic today, isn't it? João Paulo Sousa, sorry, and CRX haven't stopped yet, so maybe they're planning just a one-stop strategy.
It does seem as though that might be the case. Gilles right now moving back up into first, moving ahead of CRX on his absolutely dead tyres. We'll have to see how that plays later on in the race, because he was fighting for around 4th position, was CRX. We'll have to see just how far ahead of the other people he was fighting earlier he emerges after his next pit stop.
But if
this different strategy will play a very big role in that fight later on.
Yeah. I would say probably we'll stop next lap, but we will see. But that
Not
makes
100% sure his tyres are absolutely shot, to be fair. You might even say it'd be worth him just doing 2 stints on soft tyres after this. But we'll have to see what he decides to do. The pit here quite long, to be fair. It does take a while to get into your pit box. And CRX, in fact, staying out yet again. So looking like he'll be coming in next lap.
I think I know what he was trying to do. He's just going for the one stop and probably just sacrificing a little bit of time on this lower lap. We'll see if it pays off or not. João Paulo Sousa did stop.
Yes, he has come in. Most likely going on to medium tyres if he wants to make only this stop in the race. But what's interesting, in fact, is that you said earlier Tegos is going to get involved in the fight with CRX. Well, CRX has in fact been going around 3.5 seconds per lap slower than Tegos at this current moment in time. This is definitely going to be close between the two of them, because Tegos just going so fast trying to catch up to the dead tyres of CRX. It's definitely going to come down to the wire later on in the race. As Mieke Massa now making his way ahead of CRX as well, and Costelinius soon to follow.
CRX
all hitting the rear of him very slightly.
But CRX is just trying to let him pass. I think he's doing his race and he understands that he's way slower. Now he went super wide.
I do think there was a little bit of contact between Costelinius and CRX.
Probably.
CRX obviously having to brake so much earlier than the others that are around him, because his tyres do look absolutely shot. There's no way that this strategy could be working, can it? It's unlikely, but we'll have to see how it pays off in the end. Tegos around 5 seconds behind him as he comes into the pits. I personally think Tegos might get the better of him towards the end of the race, but it's going to be interesting.
CRX is going in now. And I did check the replay, not sure if Costelinius did touch him or not. Probably the tires were just falling apart and he went by.
Yeah, it may have just been a case of absolutely shot tyres and just running a little bit deep into the corner. As you know, no one's really fighting right now. We've got a little bit of time. Do you maybe want to run through the current grid?
Yeah, let's go for it. So, at the moment, in first place, Gilles, about 7 seconds ahead of Mieke Massa. Mieke Massa has Costelinius 1 second behind. In fourth place, Tegos, about 7 seconds following Costelinius. Alan is fifth, 5 seconds away of Tegos. CRX, after stopping in the pit, slotted in 6th place, 17 seconds away from Alan and 11 seconds in front of João Paulo Sousa, his teammate. João Paulo Sousa is 7.8 seconds ahead of Mayasun. I soon in 8th place, 18 seconds away from Danny Aquino. Okay, back to the front and back to you, Dan.
Perfect. Well, the two closest guys on track right now, still me and Kamasa and Costolinius. As I said earlier, me and Kamasa on a different tyre compound, which could play a factor later on. Currently, his tyres do look in a bit better condition. But that's not the end of things, because in fact, Costolinius, as I said before, with way more fuel in his tank right now, he may not even need to fill up the tank going into the next pit stop. Whereas me and Kamasa, right on the edge of fuel, is going to need to refill quite a bit coming in for his next pit stop. It's definitely going to come down to the wire a little bit. I think Costolinius may move ahead going into the pit stop, but me and Kamasa could launch quite a bit of a fight back as soon as they come out of the pits.
I think you have a point there. You're right. Costolinius can shorten his stay in the pit in the next stop and just pass Miyako Masa like that. We've seen that in the first race in Monza between the two, with the Mercedes and Miyako Masa. So we'll see how this plays. I think there's some interesting options. Let's see how they will work out in the end.
Well, it seems as though we're reaching the stage where people are going to start thinking about coming into the pits again. Me and Kamasa came in on lap 5, meaning he's been on these tyres for 8 laps. He may be coming in very soon, not pulling into the pits this lap. As in fact, Costolinius getting a 7.3 second penalty there. I think in that final sector, he may have cut a section of it. And that's gained him 7.3 seconds worth of penalty. That is extremely harsh, considering he barely even caught up to being Kamasa through there. Very unfortunate. Obviously, if you just cut a tiny bit of that final section in that final chicane, it gives you a massive penalty, because you can gain so much momentum there. Costolinius not doing so, but the game just punishing him massively with what's now down to 6.9 seconds worth of penalty.
It's a shame because he made a bit more than a second towards Miyako Masa, or compared with Miyako Masa in the last lap. So yeah, I think he kind of had a bad moment in there. But yeah, the game doesn't know the difference, and he got 7 seconds.
That's very unfortunate. He could still mount a bit of a comeback. Obviously, 6.9 seconds of penalty is absolutely killer. The penalty will slowly go down over the course of the race. Obviously, going into turn 1, generally you can burn a little bit of penalty. He's burned a little bit of penalty going into that corner, in fact. 3 tenths. As I said before, he will emerge ahead of me and Kamasa, most likely coming out of the pits.
Dan, how much do you believe they lose in the pit stop? Because I'm doing some maths at the moment.
Well, it depends on how much they refuel. Obviously, if they've got 7% of fuel like me and Kamasa, he's most likely going to have to stay into the pits for an extra probably around 7 seconds in comparison to Costolinius. So Costolinius definitely going to be ahead, and could be ahead by quite some way, actually, as most of the front runners have all come into, actually they've all come into the pits now.
Very interesting.
Gilles emerging in first.
The first 4 went to the pits, and Miyako Masa has an interesting option. I believe he went to medium. And I see.
Oh, but something of a spanner has just been thrown into the works. So Costolinius is ahead of me and Kamasa now. But not only that, CRX has moved ahead of me and Kamasa. CRX, obviously, on the 1 stop, is not going to be pitting again. This could be perfect for Costolinius, as he's got a bit of a buffer now to me and Kamasa. So me and Kamasa is going to have to overtake CRX if he wants to catch up to Costolinius ahead.
That's why I was asking how much time you normally spend in a because I was seeing CRX coming back to the first 3 places.
Fair enough. Well, not only that, in fact, we could see Tegos getting involved with this fight as well. He has been closing in mid Kamasa and Costalinius ever so slightly every few laps, down to the point where it's down to 3.7 seconds. Could Tegos get involved with the fight for the podium? This is getting very interesting late on. As me and Kamasa very much closing up to the back of CRX, around 7 tenths between them now. CRX on slightly worn medium tyres, me and Kamasa on completely fresh soft tyres. Definitely with a lot more grip than CRX right now. We'll have to see if he goes for any sort of move going into the first corner. Getting a decent exit out of that chicane and round the final bend. Pulling to the inside now. He had a little bit of slipstream going down the main straight. And with the BMW's might able to pull alongside, he should be able to brake a little bit later on those fresh soft tyres, and is able to do so. Me and Kamasa moving back up into 3rd position and can now look to hunt down Costalinius ahead.
And I believe he's on. Oh no, it's soft. For some kind of reason I thought they had medium, but yeah, he made that work. 3rd place.
Well, this stint's a little bit less long than the last one for me and Kamasa. Me and Kamasa going, I believe, 9 laps in his last stint, whereas this stint he'll only be having to do, I believe, 6. So he's able to go onto that softer compounded tyres and make that run all the way to the end.
And Gilles, it's very comfy in 1st place. He's just going around the track, controlling, trying to do any bad mistake or anything like that. He has Costalinius following him, but 8 seconds away, and Costalinius still has a little bit of that penalty that he caught a few tracks back.
Costalinius not out of the picture entirely, but definitely a long way away from Gilles right now. He did go a little bit quicker than him on the last lap, and in fact has gone a little bit quicker than him this lap as well. But yeah, with 8 seconds of a gap and 2.2 seconds worth of penalty, it's going to be one hell of a challenge if he wants to try to fight for 1st place. But a brilliant job from Costalinius so far. We did say he was a bit of an underdog, but currently he's just done brilliantly all the way in 2nd place right now. And he's just really got to keep it consistent, try and keep ahead of me and Kamasa. Currently 3.5 seconds ahead. He's got a decent buffer to him, and this could be a very lovely 2nd place for him.
Even last week he did a good race. He just had probably, at least in my opinion, the wrong option when we came to the tires. But it's been evolving. It's been getting better and better. So we will see where he finished today, and I can see good things coming towards him for the next races also.
He definitely seems to be improving. You are right. But one other man who's improving throughout the entirety of this race has to be Tegos. Currently a 2nd behind CRX. Definitely looks like he's closing up to him and could get involved in a fight for 4th position. Obviously on the softer compounded tyres, CRX on slightly more worn mediums, and Tegos just slowly closing up to CRX as they make their way around the track for the 17th time of this race.
Tegos is that kind of a pilot. He gets better as the race progresses. It's been proving this, he's been doing this, you know, in other championships. He tends to start sometimes slow and finish very strong. So it's not going to be different this time around, and I can see he's going to be able to pass CRX from the inside. Let's see.
It's right around the outside right now. CRX braking a little bit later, As he actually slides off track, his tyres are just that worn, and Tegos easily able to move up into 4th position there. CRX on much more worn medium tyres, not quite got the grip as he tried to defend and just slid straight off the track, trying to brake later and just unable to. We did say earlier on that CRX would be slowly sliding down the field, obviously on those much more worn tyres. We've only got 3 laps remaining of this race though. He should be able to hold on to 5th position, unless Alan behind can pull out some stellar laps and try to catch up to him.
9 seconds? No, I don't see it happening, but only if the tires really degrade a lot in these last two laps. Okay, I'm just gonna do a rundown on the positions. First, Gilles, 9 seconds away. Second, Costalinos with Mayan Comasser following 4 seconds behind. Tegos from the back, slowly progressing. It's 5 seconds, well, almost 6 seconds from Mian. CRX, 5th place. He had a strategy that it doesn't seem like it worked, but you know, it was interesting either way. Alan 6, João Paulo Souza 7, Mayasun 8th, and Dani Aquino 9th position.
It's currently everyone just seemingly running around the track in their own little pocket of air, just no one's really close to one another right now. The closest gap we've got is actually 4 seconds between Tegos and CRX, and that gap's just increasing with CRX's worn tyres. So currently there is no action on track whatsoever, but that's sort of what you expect towards the end of the race. We did think the tyre strategy would cause a little bit of interest towards the end of the race, and it has in CRX, playing a little bit of a factor, fighting me and Kamasa and Tegos. But currently everyone just running around on their own, trying to bring it home to the checkered flag.
Still an interesting race. Not so, how can I say, adrenaline full as the last race. You could see that the tactical aspect did play a lot of, play a lot in the classification. But yeah, it looks like more or less everything is defined. Gilles is just cruising around the track. Costalinos, even after the penalty, is able to keep 2nd position. Mian Comasser is too far away. It's only 1 lap to go. So yeah, looks like everything is more or less defined.
You say that, but CRX has actually closed 3 seconds on Tegos again.
Yeah.
Tegos, if you look at his fuel, seemingly might be running out a little bit. Everyone else has a little bit more fuel than he does. And possibly Tegos right on the limit when it comes to finishing this race. He might not make it all the way around this final lap.
I think he had to go, and then he said, oh, oops, I think I will be saving a little bit of fuel, because maybe I won't make it.
It definitely seems like CRX closing up, as he's got to run higher gears through the corners right now, maybe. Let's just try and bring the car home. But CRX closing up a little bit again. But looking ahead at Gilles, coming round through the final chicane and round the final corner. Yet again, we have a dominant victory from Gilles. Well done in 1st position. Looking back at 2nd, Costalinos. Brilliant job, a bit of an underdog story there, and Costolinius claiming second. Me and Kamasa coming home in third. Looking back, it seems as though Tego's just about going to hold on to fourth. He's right on the limit of fuel though, as it seems he's just about to run out there as he crosses the line. And CRX just behind him in fifth position. A good race between the two of them. But yeah, a brilliant race overall. That's our top five. Alan coming home in sixth. And well done to everyone. It's been a brilliant race again. Obviously not as adrenaline pumping as you said as Interlagos, but it's had some amazing moments, especially that free wide moment around turn 4.
I do agree with you. These guys, every weekend, they provide us with a very interesting race, full of, you know, little perks, their own choices that make everything very interesting. I did ask for an interview, hopefully, but I know that Gilles doesn't have a mic today, but I'm pretty sure that Mia Komasa will join us, and let's see if Costolinius also.
Well, Gilles definitely putting everyone to shame a little bit there. He had some brilliant pace, as he always does. But Costolinius, in fact, I'm pretty sure, if I go to the race results just quickly, did claim the fastest lap. And I think, is that the first time someone other than Gilles has claimed the fastest lap?
Probably you're right. Probably you're right.
Brilliant job from Costolinius. He did string together some brilliant laps at times. Props to him. But congratulations, obviously, to Gilles. He just did amazing through that race.
Let's see if I get the guys. It's always a bit awkward when we're not watching anything. What shall we say? Do you know any good jokes?
No. How about this? I'll go out on track and you can just watch me go around for a little bit.
I just have the results showing.
Oh, perfect. But I do have to ask, what was your favourite moment of that race? Obviously, I said about that free wide moment at turn 4. For me, that's got to be that moment. But we did have some brilliant overtakes, to be fair. Turn 1, Tegos perfectly braking to get past CRX, forcing him to brake so late that he just went off track. Otherwise, there was no way for him to defend against that move. There were some brilliant little moves there from everyone, basically.
I have to agree with you. Those 3 guys side by side is, yeah, as I said, I think my heart skipped a few bits in there. I was like, okay, because Gilles has that kind of matador instinct, isn't it? He saw the opportunity, he went for it. I wasn't really sure if John Paulo knew that he was there, so, but yeah, all good.
Everyone seemingly staying on track through that little kerfuffle, but brilliant racing all around. CRX especially, he was able to keep quite a lot of respect between all the racers he was coming up against. Obviously, when he's on slower tyres at the time, he is going to get overtaken as he slowly goes back to his natural position.
Okay, I'm going to invite...
He handled it brilliantly.
Invite Miguel. And hopefully Miguel will invite Costolinius, because I just realized that Costolinius is not on my... well, at least this PSN profile. Miguel, do me a favor, invite Costalinos. You, or at least.
Okay. Hold on a second.
You can't invite him, but you can exactly
suggest him.
Yeah.
Suggest him.
Perfect.
How about the race, guys? Do you enjoy the race?
It was brilliant, mate. That free wide moment between you, CRX, and Gilles. We had our hands in our mouths. We were just amazed.
It was a tough race because my study strategy wasn't the same that I use on the race. Oh my god.
Miguel,
my mechanicals didn't do what I expected to do.
Miguel,
Again.
let me just ask Costalinos. Costalinos, do you want us to go in full English, or you want me to translate between English and Portuguese?
No, you can go full English.
Okay, super. Good to know. Dan, do you want to start?
I do.
So who's starting?
Hello?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I was having a drink. But well done, guys. Podiums for the both of
Thank
you.
you.
Obviously, you both had quite a big fight between the two of you. Early
Yeah.
on, you were quite often within a second of one another. How did you deal with the pressure of just being...
Expand aqui. Okay, looks like we're having a little bit of difficulty. Not really sure. The party just... Oh. If I'm gonna guess, it's some kind of a PSN problem. Okay, please allow me just a second to see if I can redo this, but... Let's try again. It's very strange, but keep saying error. Oh well. Okay, we will try to make this work. If not, it's very strange because everybody got kicked out of the party, and so yeah, it's not normal. I can see stream is still going. So yeah, it's weird. Well, welcome to the PSN. Try again. No. Yeah, guys, I think there's some kind of problem with the PSN. Everybody's saying the same. They can't create groups or anything. So please allow me, I would say, 1 more minute. If not, we will try to do something on next race, but I don't see it to be happening for some reason. Sorry for this, but you can imagine. Well, this is what happens when you're streaming live. Things can go a bit funny. I could try a PSN test, I guess. Why not? A PSN Miami network test. It did connect now. Well, at least. Okay, one more try. Yeah. Sorry, guys. I don't think this is gonna happen. The same. Let's see if any of the other guys can do a party. I'm stubborn though. I really want to have an interview. It is a bit weird, that's true. Okay, I don't see any movement. No one is invited me to any party. I did try, as you can see. I think there's some kind of problem going with PSN. It does connect, but parties not really. And as much as I know, they are like a kind of a different server. Okay. Anyway, okay, guys. I will stop the live stream now. Thanks for joining us. See you in a couple of weeks. It's a shame we couldn't have the interview, but you know, these things happen. So that's all for me. See you in 2 weeks time. Bye.